we talk about um like relatability with the characters.
Mhm.
Early we talked about Always Sunny and like just shows where people are the jerks,
Mhm.
are jerks, and that's the point that we want them to get their comeuppance.
Right.
Like, how important? Like, is there like a scale, or how important is the scale of people like being seen in media and understanding just because we are seen doesn't mean we're pushing values that will progress us as a people.
And you're saying how important is it?
Yeah, is there a scale in it? Like, is there a scale to that, or is that scale even important when it comes to how we present ourselves in
Mm.
media?
I definitely scale. I mean, I guess everything is kind of on a spectrum as far as representation. Um, Definitely, those people that are like jerks. I don't like getting political, but obviously, the former president. I feel like I take his representation into like a perspective where by him doing the things that he did and being seen, it caused a shift in people like as a whole to actively to do different, be show a different side of them in the public.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a powerful thing. Like that was one person, and that inspired the events that happened on January 6th. Like that, and he people view him as a not good person. He's a jerk. So like then you have other positive, I guess, the impact of representation and
Yeah,
of showing, I guess, who you are really, I guess.
yeah. Like, how, like, is like, what is the can you sense there being a scale of
Mhm.
having BIPOCs acting in an undesirable way, as if like akin to
Yeah.
Sunny in Philadelphia, as we
Mm.
all can perceive that their actions are undesirable, but at the same time, because we don't see a lot of BIPOC representation, should like what should we be able to differentiate the the quality of that of that presentation, or should we need more of that quantity of that presentation in
Oh,
general?
yeah. I definitely think we would need more of that quantity of that presentation, especially in a positive light, because BIPOCs are usually minorities, especially in America. Um, so we need, because whenever that one undesirable is put at the forefront, that is a, in a, I guess, layman's terms, one bad apple spoils the bunch. So it's just a negative connotation, especially because the human consensus, when they understand things on a from media, they're just like, oh, this must be a representation of that entire thing,
Mm-hmm.
which we most people know that isn't true. It's just an excluded incident. So and I take things like Jada Pinkett Smith and her husband Will,
Okay.
how they've been having these marital problems. So now I've spoken to some of my my black female friends who were like, this is a media attack on black women because they're just making her look so shameless, as she is kind of dragging her marriage through the mud. And I'm like, I can see how the media is twisting it that way, because it's like, people have marital problems every day, doesn't matter what color they are. But because this specific one woman is famous and rich, it's now turning into this talk piece of like, hey, is this black women as a whole? Is this, and just their marriage? It's like, why is she doing this to Will Smith? Everybody loves Will Smith. He was the Fresh Prince. It's like, look, man, they're two people. They're two people on a scale that is way bigger than most people will ever have to worry about. It's you don't have to, and they like it's so like they have to live their life in a way that is almost for the people. They can't just do the things that you and I can do that could be overshadowed or never seen in the public eye. Um, you
So
know,
so like if I could feedback of what you said, there would be merit to have an increase of quantity of BIPOC figures, so
correct.
we can understand that there will be like the good, and then there will be the bad,
Mhm.
and the more we see of these figures, their flaws and all, will continue to the masses will understand how to humanize them, because you can't it's because like it'll get to a point where you can't get away from them. Is that
Right.
but
Exactly. Yes. You
so
have to flood them with the positive so that obviously it balances out. Like they're always gonna report the bad thing, but they're never going to report the good thing.
mhm.
So the more times you see the good thing in the public eye unabashedly, it's just going to balance out, and people will be like, though the one time those undesirable events happen with certain people, they're going to be like, that's just that person.
Okay.
That's just, yeah.
Yeah, so it, like in terms of like media coverage, there needs to be a push for a certain balance for it.
Correct.
Do you like man, I'm trying to phrase this question as in a way of, do you trust the media? Well, Trish, do you trust the media in a way that they could find a certain balance to be achieved, and why not? And like that's a
uh,
couple. My bad.
oh yeah. No, you're
To
good.
outtakes.
Yeah. Right.
do,
It's like, oh man, I'm not
do
even
you trust
famous
it?
yet, they're coming for me.
Do you trust them, and why not? Let's
I
let's take it to the
cannot.
podcast. Stay into
I
the podcast.
unfortunately, right. Oh my god.
Bias showing. My bad.
Oh my goodness. So I unfortunately would have to say I cannot trust the media because most like we can see very very often and clearly that people are out for money. People are out for their dollar. They are here to make money in any way possible. You'll see it in the paparazzi and how they um I guess input, or like just they're like, I like the first time I think I ever saw a paparazzi like just literally in someone's face with a camera, like shamelessly, and I'm just like, I would be absolutely furious if I was with my family and someone was 2 feet away from me taking pictures in my face. And
Absolutely.
apparently, and it's, you can't attack these people. Obviously attacking people is illegal, but it's like, how but there's no way these people can get offended. Like if that invasion of privacy is so outrageous, I'm just like, I wouldn't take it. So and then they're going to twist and turn your words. People are doing it every day on TikToks and everything. They will take an excerpt of what you say and present it in a way that makes it seem like, oh, this person said this, and it's like, that's not the entire context. Everything is context,
Hmm.
and the media is here to tell a story, to make people engaged and interested. They're not here to necessarily tell the truth. To get the truth, that is on the people to go and find the truth. The media does not find the truth. So that is why I could not trust the media,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Since I don't think I can find a single person that realistically trusts the media, and we all know that the media is corrupt. Blanket statement.
Mm.
What would you advise for people to maneuver through deceptive, all these deceptive like smear pieces,
Yeah.
deceptive presentations of people?
Mm.
Would you say, and would you also say that too much of a positive light would be in itself a deceptive term, a deceptive tactic?
No, because then before I got cut off earlier, I was exemplifying people like Keanu Reeves, who in the media is a very positive figurehead. I feel like he's a very, very, in the light, in the positive light, and he's just that I don't see any like negative connotations about him ever. Um, oh man, I had something to say about the beginning of what you said,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
what you said. I'm sorry.
The first thing is like how can we maneuver, and I have another thing
Oh,
about
right,
the
right.
Keanu Reeves. I'll pin that later.
Yeah, how to maneuver, especially for smaller creators like myself and anyone else out there in the space. Community. It's all community. When you take the time to build your community, get to know people, have them get to know you, then when those smear pieces do come out, they don't even bat an eye. They was like, there's no way, there's no way. And in the media, I mean, as we especially for black men or just men in general, I guess.
Hmm.
There's a lot of these accusers out here of different types of crime. I know that Jonathan Majors things was a real slap in the face, especially when they found out he was innocent. Yet job his job security is shaken to the core now, and that affects not only him as a whole, but like the continuity of things that people hold dear as far as consuming media content.
Hmm.
And it's like, why even try to join that type of space when someone can derail you from from an unjust and untrue accusation?
I
So
highly agree with that too, because like
yeah,
why would you want to involve yourself in with snakes essentially?
correct. And that's why to maneuver that type of deal, community. Definitely just be with the community. And I know it's harder for famous people because they gotta watch out who, because the snakes come in hundreds and thousands of people. But
Hmm.
once you have that community and you try to stay in that positive light, yeah, I feel like that'll be the best way. And I mean, there's some people I forgot. I love seeing stories about famous actors and like actresses and uh, artists and musicians, how they'll like pop in for a second and then they're gone. You never hear anything about their life. They're never in the media, but they're doing these things. They're acting, they're living their lives, they're living their stories, they have their families, but you just never see anything about them. And I love that. I
Hmm.
love that they can stay out of the media and still do their jobs, what they love, and not have to, put on this show consistently for the world, be negative or positive.
Right, I like that. I like that. But one thing that was interesting about what you said with Keanu Reeves, you had like Keanu Reeves as an example of like he's just positive press after positive press on
Mhm.
him, and that brought me back early in the conversation when we were talking about Jada Pinkett
Mhm.
Smith,
Yeah.
and you were talking about how your black female friend said, "Oh man, I'm so tired of hearing people talk about her because that's putting black
Mhm.
women down." But when
Correct.
we talk about Keanu Reeves, nobody's saying white guys are. Wait, is Keanu Reeves white?
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure. I don't
Yeah,
know if he has any ethnical backgrounds, but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's white.
It was like when people talk about Keanu Reeves. I don't. It's weird. I don't hear people say, "Ah, man, the ethnicity that Keanu Reeves is from is
Mhm.
completely awesome. They're probably like
Yeah.
angels
Yeah.
if they came from him." Like
Mhm.
when I hear that, it's I suppose it's kind of like how parents tell you you're whatever you do, you're a reflection of me.
Yeah.
But when you see a kid acting out, like how often do you talk about their parents?
Actually, all the time.
All the
I
time.
think.
Yeah, because I guess
Yeah.
I guess that just comes up that well actually
Yeah.
yeah. I guess actually it probably comes from like a sentiment of constantly being like a part of something greater, even though you don't know Jada Pinkett Smith. Like you don't share the only background you probably share with her
Uh-huh.
is probably where your
Well,
ancestors came from, and that's probably the short and thick of it. And I
uh-huh.
think and
Well,
go ahead.
no, I was going to say that goes back to the minority.
Hmm.
The reason why you never hear people saying like, "Oh, Keanu Reeves so great," of that's exactly what he is. Um,
Uh oh.
um,
Can you
that
pause
was
for a
that.
second? It's happening again.
Hello.
Yes, it's happening a little bit. It's happening again.
Oh no. Here we go. Let's see. These trees. So many trees. All right. Let's hopefully get back to where we were. Hopefully.
Maybe you can like
I
leave
have
and then
no
come
clue what
back.
I'm on. Okay. I should refresh it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you're good. I think
All
you're
right.
good.
Let's try. I'm good.
Yeah,
We're
you're
good.
good.
I think it was under or a tree, a roof tree. I get you. Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying is, being that white men are, majority of, I don't even know if they're a majority of America, but they're a majority. Um, no matter how many small incidents up in the to that, not diaspora, a demographic, it's going to be seen as by person because there are so many of them.
Hmm.
But when it's uh, a minority, it's going to be like, oh, that's it's taken from that small sample group, so that must be a representation of the of that group, and it's we all know that's not true because humans are all separate people. People
No
do
separate.
everything separately.